BlackRock is the #1 reason Bitcoin is pumping, and I found a secret meeting in the secret notes, a secret metric no one's talking about in BlackRock's next move. It's time to discover crypto. That is the face of Bitcoin, everybody. You can see at the top right there, IBIT ETF becomes the fastest ever to $10 billion in total assets. IBIT is the BlackRock ETF that is selling Bitcoin. But I think Pastor Coin, with the great name, has the best message right there. Don't sell your Bitcoin to Larry, everybody. Now, we're going to look at the numbers of the ETFs. Found some pretty interesting numbers no one's talking about. A secret meeting is going to blow you away, folks. And then again, we're going to tell you their next move. But we look at some of these numbers. $600 million outflowed from Grayscale's Bitcoin Trust yesterday. But that was entirely absorbed by BlackRock and the IBIT ETF here. IBIT has already crossed the $10 billion in assets. It did this in 7 weeks to the day, and that is just totally insane, everybody. Eric Balchunas, he is a senior ETF analyst for Bloomberg. He actually highlighted something that I want to share with you. He just tweeted this out 6 hours ago, and this is the thing no one is talking about. IBIT is the newest member of the $10 billion club, and the metric no one is mentioning, they are the fastest ever to reach that in history. Out of over 3,000 ETFs, only 152 have $10 billion in assets. So for them to hit 10 billion this quickly, fastest ever, just very, very bullish. And not only that, he has the analysis, the second 10 billion is easier because of market appreciation, a bigger a variable here. Now, I told you about the metrics, that's the metric, but I also told you about a secret meeting, folks. And this tweet sent me down a rabbit hole, and I went down the rabbit hole so you don't have to. 28%. 28%. What does that mean? From this individual right here is the managing director of Swan. More on this guy later, Steven. Swan attended a BlackRock institutional event, and more on this event later, where there was strong interest that was not expected. They had a quant to give a presentation on valuing and modeling Bitcoin for a portfolio. This was this week, and nobody is talking about this. The number he suggested for the allocation, 28%. Now, I found this article from Bitcoin Insider. They posted this the other day. BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager, recently conducted a private event focused on Bitcoin. They had 4 big ideas that BlackRock shared during the event. First idea, #1, BlackRock hosted it for its top clients to promote the spot ETF. This supports the view they're gearing up to use its marketing and sales machine to promote Bitcoin and their ETF products. So #1, they're going to ignite the BlackRock machinery to pump Bitcoin. And what machinery is more strong than BlackRock's, folks? I struggle to find a more powerful entity. Revelation #2, growing interest from traditionally conservative sectors of the investment world. We're getting phone calls from people we never thought we would be getting calls from, said senior staff at BlackRock. And then they advised the 28% Bitcoin portfolio allocation. This recommendation from the quant analyst regarding portfolio allocation is perhaps the biggest revelation here. Their own analyst recommended 28% portfolio allocation as not unreasonable. And when you're rubbing elbows with billionaires, you know, saying things like, well, 28% is not unreasonable, Bill. That's kind of a green light, everybody. Not unreasonable is billionaire speak for, I think I like it. All right, fourth and final takeaway here. They plan to capitalize on their vast distribution network to promote Bitcoin and their ETF products. So this event not merely geared towards the top clients. Once the top clients have time to digest this info, they'll most likely run this information through their entire client base. So right now, BlackRock's favored investors, their favored clients, are getting the front ran information. I'm front running their information for you, so go ahead and hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed, everybody. They are highlighting how good Bitcoin is to the chosen few, and then that chosen few is going to make the profits off the rest of them, and you got to make profits before they do. Now, I told you I'd tell you more about the person who is leaking this, the insider. I looked into the insider. The insider's name is Steven Lubka. This guy right here, folks, unassuming, but this is the managing director and head of private clients and family offices for Swan. Swan is client services for Bitcoin here, and we do a little digging into Swan's website. Buy Bitcoin with your Bitcoin specialist here. Education, oh, highly ranked in the App Store. Oh, that's going to be good. Instant buys, recurring purchases, low fees, free withdrawals here. But then if you click on the private, this is who this is for. The guy that was here, head of private clients and family offices. We click private. This is, I think the guy that's in charge of this is talking to BlackRock's favorite analyst, their favorite quant, and he's hearing 28% allocation, 28% allocation. Go beyond here. So who does Swan market this to, folks? High net worth individuals, family offices, businesses, and trusts. So this is going to be the who's who. People with a lot of money, hundreds of millions of dollars, billions of dollars to invest, now are going to be given the green light to buy a bunch of Bitcoin, folks. So I told you I'd tell you about the secret metrics here. I told you I'd tell you about, the secret meeting, and now it's time to talk about what is BlackRock going to do next. I don't want to follow BlackRock's moves and, buy an asset after they've already bought it, after they already told their favorite clients. Well, folks, I'm going to tell you what I think their next move is, everybody, and that's going to be the Ethereum ETF. Here's just a little highlight, reminder of the ETH ETF final decision dates. And I have a pretty bold prediction here. I think we're going to see probably, if not all 7, 6 of the 7 are all going to be approved in May. We saw all the Bitcoin ETFs approved at once, so the SEC isn't showing anyone favoritism. But I tell you who will win. BlackRock is going to be hitting that finish line at the same time as everybody else, folks. And iShares is the BlackRock ETF. You can kind of see, they applied in January, but the earliest participants, they were applying in December, essentially. So I kind of expect everybody to get approved either May 23rd, potentially a week later, May 30th. I think it's going to be on the Monday. Now, you can see BlackRock. BlackRock is right here. They're the iShares. They also have the iBit. They applied in January. Well, the people before them just applied in December. So I expect everybody kind of be approved at once. Probably going to be in May 23rd, potentially May 30th. That's going to be a Thursday. So these are the dates that I have predicted for the ETH ETF approval. And I'm going to go ahead and say I think it's going to be approved at the end of May, folks. But even Wall Street Journal is highlighting the fact that this is going to be going down, how new Bitcoin funds could soon have rivals. BlackRock, Fidelity, and other firms have applied to launch Ether ETFs. These are going to be the Ethereum ETFs. These Wall Street firms launched the Bitcoin ETFs just a few weeks ago, record-setting pace. $10 billion just for BlackRock there. Now they want to offer everyday investors funds holding a smaller and more volatile crypto asset. You notice how they're highlighting, oh, it's smaller, it's cheaper. Oh, more volatile, maybe more upside. It's like they're already trying to market it to the normies here. We scroll down, the SEC for years cited Bitcoin's acceptability to fraud and its reasoning for rejecting the applications. This was before a court compelled them to approve the funds last month. And then investors poured billions into 9 of them, according to Bloomberg and JP Morgan data. And now some are saying the Bitcoin funds makes it likely Ether funds will follow. Ether is the only other cryptocurrency with futures contracts traded on the CME, which is regulated by the CFTC. CFTC and SEC won't let me be, but they also they both kind of regulate markets, commodities. Think oil futures. Then SEC is going to be more like a stock ETFs. Now, let's go through the article. We see some, a quote from James Seifert. We're just looking at his tweets. His base case is we will see these approved in 2024. And I believe they have given, slightly favorable odds for that May date as well, but they're not coming in 100%. And we keep scrolling down. Given the massive initial success of spot Bitcoin ETFs, issuers are no doubt salivating over the prospect of launching spot Ether ETFs. And trust me, folks, BlackRock is salivating off the idea of front-running Ethereum, going ahead and loading up their bag, and then selling it to their clients, aka dumping on retail as we go further down that line. And folks, I want to go into the charts just so we can kind of see, is it a good time to buy ETH? And so we pulled up the ETH Bitcoin trading pair. This is going to be looking at Ethereum in the terms of Bitcoin. Right now, one Ethereum is equal to about 5.495% of a Bitcoin. And if we scroll in and just kind of look at the historical data here, this is the weekly chart. There's a trend line that I identified. I haven't seen anyone else talking about this thing. It started all the way back in March 2016. The markets have been respecting this trend line very, very strongly, and you can see it was respecting it not that long ago, showed a little respect, and now this is on the one-day chart here. And folks, I feel like now is not a bad time to buy some Ethereum. If you look at Ethereum, I do think Ethereum, might retest this trend line, so maybe you lose a little bit of value, folks. We're really not talking about much whatsoever. If you look, you will lose potentially 3-4% on your ETH relative to Bitcoin. Not a whole lot there. But if you look at this drawdown, folks, it isn't a bad time coming in. significantly lower. We're coming in at 40%. So you're coming in, maybe not the best time to buy some ETH. That obviously would have been, before the bull run 2021, but post bull run, very, very good time to buy some ETH relative to Bitcoin is my prediction here. And folks, I think BlackRock is looking at the same things I'm looking at the same things you're looking at. And of course, they're salivating over this prospect here. So I would recommend look at Ether. If you have some family members on the fence, they say, well, Bitcoin's already ran up. I don't know what else to buy. Well, Ethereum is still below its all-time high, folks. Now you can see Ethereum is hot, but so is Bitcoin right now. Currently trading around $3,400. But I put up Lux Algo indicators right here just to show you the money flow on the 3-day is in the green. And if we go, around the 4-year cycle, where would we be at? We'd be around 2020. And then 2020, when the money flow went into the green, it stayed in the green for a long time, folks. And if we look just to measure this move out all the way, a little bit of a blip right there, but 172 3-day bars equaling 516 days. You can see it didn't spend too much time in the red. So I don't expect this money flow to drop down. I don't expect the floor to fall out of Ethereum. We might get a short-term correction if Bitcoin corrects. I think everything will correct here. But relative to Bitcoin, you seem to be in a pretty good place if you looked at that ETH Bitcoin trading pair, folks. So this is what I'm recommending. If you got some funds ready to deploy and you wanted to deploy it into Bitcoin, you feel like Bitcoin is pumped too hard, I would recommend check out Ethereum at these levels, folks. I really do think BlackRock is going to pump this thing to the moon in 2024. And I'll see you and the bags you used to front run BlackRock with at the top.